What does it mean to live a life of service? Is it important to serve others? How can a person make a shift towards the state of being in service to others from there? Yes, it is important. It goes with the steps. Again, it's not something that one decides because it sounds nice, it sounds cool. You know, like many people do that, and many people consider them empaths, and they live the life of serving others supposedly, but you can tell that it's totally an escape route because they can't even face their own issues and work on themselves, where first they need some help themselves and to get better and healed. So there's a lot of that happening. So it's not something one just decides ultimately. Of course, people do it concretely at different level, but first you really do the proper work on yourself to properly heal yourself. Then you will understand exactly what the human condition is, where it has come from, all the suffering, all the misery. And because you have done the work and discovered the source of that and the path to eradicate that, then naturally, by itself, you will start to have developed compassion and loving kindness towards others, because you know that you were at their place before too, and you see the whole process and you see in a more obvious manner what's happening with them. So naturally, the compassion gets developed and the natural volition to help the others to get out of it, because of course it makes sense that we want a world with more and more happier people, more and more healed people, more and more peace and harmony rather than suffering and misery. So all this has to become an organic, natural process out of self-healing first, which has to become self-awareness, the true awareness. And yes, and also compared to the question about gurus or fake gurus, as I've said before, unfortunately, in this world of ego-centered conceit, people often, by starting to have understood a bit about themselves, they have started to awake and start to figure a few things. Then suddenly the big ego boost come up, and they start to think, okay, I can heal others, I can become a teacher because I have figured a few things. And that's again a very dangerous point. All these people think they help each other just because they know a little bit, they have figured a couple of things, and that's it. At once the big ego is like, wow, I know enough to do that. Unfortunately, what that does is definitely keeping people stuck at the same level and stuck in suffering, the suffering of conceit and ego trip and ego pampering, and they just help one another in the sense of they keep each other stuck at the same level. So it's only when one has reached like true awareness and transcended life that one really knows how to heal, because one knows all the path. It's not only when you know like 1/10 of the path that you can pretend to know enough to heal. And again, it's the lack of humility, and but those are very dangerous notions of someone pretending to be able to help others or serve others, when one still is dealing with his own issues or defilement to be healed. So the shift happens again naturally by first working on oneself and healing oneself, but healing oneself properly and fully, which requires years and years. Then it just has to come naturally. But of course, it's always good to help, like concretely, all the NGOs or, someone poor. Like that's the whole good karma actions and wholesome actions. That seeing someone in distress, one should feel like helping them. And as we know ultimately, and it starts to be known again enough, the concept of rather than gaining materially something to make one happy, usually it's a greater sense of happiness to see that you made the day for someone else and you really made them happy. That actually gives a deeper, long-lasting, meaningful feeling of happiness rather than having gained something materially. So yeah, one has to practice, but the true notion of service, to be of service to others in the sense of healing others, that comes only and fully understood naturally from self-healing completed.